guys, what's up? Bob here. Welcome back to PICA. This is week 8. Yes, it's been 8 weeks. This week, I am up against Belgian Extra Large and his Iowa Focus Energy. Before anybody asks, I'm not sure why he picked Iowa, being that he's from Belgium. I don't know if people from Belgium are just fans of the Iowa teams or whatever. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out his team, because that's the important thing. But before I say anything else, Nick, Iowa Focus Energy, Belgian Extra Large, that guy is actually the guy who created PICA. So, yeah, yell at him if you don't like these videos, because it's all his fault. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out his team. So, his franchise pick was his Weavile from last season. He really, really liked using it. And apparently it's one of the best Pokemons for this sort of format. So, gonna have to watch out for that. His Mega Charizard Y version. Now that is actually really interesting, because that means that he can, set up Sun. And Sun's kind of a thing. Of course I have a Rain team, or semi-Rain team. So we're gonna have to watch out for that. He's also got Hydreigon and Manaphy as his OUAs, or tier 1s or whatever. Hydreigon is a very, very powerful special attacker. It can also run Scarf. It can run Scarf, Specs, Life Orb, pretty much anything, honestly. And it does have access to U-Turn, which is kind of an issue, because that can get him some nice initiative. And he's also got the Manaphy, which actually could be a really, really problematic, let's say, for my Rain team, if I decide to bring Rain. I was looking at that when I was kind of picking what to use. So, of course, it has access to Tail Glow. Really, really good. Next up, he's got Togekiss, which is potentially a Hax Kiss, which could be really annoying. But I can't complain too much because I have Jirachi, which is just as haxy. Donphan. Cobalion. Okay, Donphan, obviously very good physical tank. Cobalion, another good physical tank, one of BXL's favorite Pokemon. He snatched that up as soon as I traded it, or as soon as he was able to after I traded it. It's kind of bittersweet seeing it there across the team preview there, because I didn't like the idea of trading him, but at the same time I kind of needed to. So, we're going to have to deal with that. He's also got access to Shiftry, which has Chlorophyll, and actually has access to Defog, too. And, of course, Grass typing, very good. He's got Licky Licky, which I figured he probably wouldn't bring, but he has brought it before, so you never know. Uxie, whatever, little psychic dude. Very good mixed kind of tank that can set up rocks and stuff. And then Lantern, which could potentially either carry Water Absorb or Volt Absorb. So, gotta watch out for that if I'm bringing, Thundurus or whatever. So, anyways, yeah, that's his team. It's pretty threatening, but he doesn't have the best record, so I was really, really hoping I could get a win. So let's go ahead and check out what we ended up bringing. So we'll start with his team. He brought Hydreigon, Charizard, Cobalion, Togekiss, Donphan, and Shaman. Now, Donphan's probably going to be his Rapid Spinner, I mean, almost certainly, but he actually has access to Defog on Togekiss, so that could have been an option as well. Yeah, you heard me right when I said Shaman. He kind of forgot he traded it. He traded it off for Cobalion, I think, and completely forgot, and ended up bringing it. I think he was using, an out-of-date spreadsheet or something. That's why you gotta keep up to date with the spreadsheet, guys. But yeah, anyways, so he brought his Shaman that he had traded, and you'll see that is actually kind of a factor, to be honest, but whatever. Hydreigon, I'm looking at that, I'm thinking that's his Scarfer, and then Charizard setting up Sun, and Cobalion just general utility, possibly. So, my team, I brought Politoed, Jirachi, Rotom, Mega Venusaur, because duh, Blaziken, and Slurpuff. Now, I haven't actually used Blaziken yet this season. I just picked him up a couple of weeks ago, though, so it's not like, I've just been letting him sit there. Yeah, it seemed like a really good pick for this team. I actually went ahead and put, I'll explain all the sets. Politoed, Specs. Politoed literally is here just to work in tandem with Rotom, which I'll get to in a second. This is a switch in for Charizard so that I can lock him into Solar Beam, and basically kill him. And then, okay, so Rotom is Scarfed. Rotom has access to, like, I was looking at his team. He's only got the one ground type, and it doesn't really want to switch in on Rotom. He's also got, like, I guess he had Lantern, but I figured he probably wouldn't bring that, just because I have access to Crocodile, and you don't want to let your Lantern be Crocodile food. Anyways, so yeah, Rotom is my, or one of my Scarfers. I actually have two. But, yeah, he's got the Volt Switch, and as well as Discharge, actually. I was thinking if I could Discharge, I could potentially get some nice Power Flinches with Jirachi. But I actually never ended up using it. But I did have the Volt Switch on there, which is really nice, because basically the plan was, first turn, he leads with his Charizard, I lead with Rotom. Now, my Rotom's usually defensive, so basically the idea was he was going to Mega Evolve, set up Sun, and go for Solar Beam. But I would outspeed him, Volt Switch, take off about half his health, and switch into Politoed. Politoed sets up Rain, so when he goes for Solar Beam, not only does it have halved base power, but it also takes 2 turns to use, and he can't switch out during those turns. So the idea was, yeah, Politoed would take a bunch of damage, but at the same time, it would kill his Charizard, and it would just be dead. So, that was kind of going along with the idea that he was going to bring Shiftry. So, yeah, it ended up working pretty well, you'll see. Then we've got Scarfed Jirachi, just pretty, it's got rocks. I have rocks on it just so that I could set up rocks if he didn't happen to lead with Charizard, which I figured he would. Then I've also got, Iron Head, Zen Headbutt, and U-Turn. It's really, really standard, but it worked pretty well. Mega Venusaur, mixed defenses. He was my only really defensive guy, so I just wanted to have him kind of be able to sponge up a couple of hits and, get maybe some Giga Drains off. He's got HP Fire, Synthesis, Giga Drain, and Sludge Bomb. And basically the idea there was I could hit pretty much everything he would bring, at least neutrally. And then Blaziken. My Blaziken had to have Blaze because, Speed Boost is banned, on Blaziken anyway. So, I was Life Orb with Blaze, Flare Blitz, High Jump Kick, Knock Off, and Agility. And the idea was if I could find a good switch in after I weakened his Donphan, I could actually probably sweep with Blaziken, just because Life Orb High Jump Kick doesn't mess around, and anything that wouldn't die to that would probably die to a Flare Blitz. The only thing I was really worried about was Donphan, but even I think it dies at half health, so that was kind of the idea. Also, it basically just kills everything, honestly. And then Slurpuff. Slurpuff is Citrus Berry, Belly Drum, Return, Drain Punch, and Play Rough. Didn't end up doing a lot, but I've seriously, I've never used it. I don't know when to bring it in. It's okay though. He was at least threatening. So anyways, that's teams. Let's go ahead and check. Actually, let me explain some of his sets, just so that, just kind of in detail. He ended up with Life Orb Shaman, which is really good, honestly, with Seed Flare. And then, let's see, Cobalion, I think ended up being defensive with Rocks. Togekiss was, Rocky Helmet, I guess defensive, or especially offensive. And then Hydreigon, I said Scarfed before, I think. Donphan was offensive. I didn't really, or not necessarily offensive, but I think he had some attack investment, which I did not see coming and kind of bit me in the butt. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the battle, so we'll do that now. So, we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to lead with Rotom, I apparently with Charizard, and just as we were talking about before, he Mega Evolves and goes for the Solar Beam as I Volt Switch, go right on into Politoed, and we are going to destroy this thing. And that's actually going to be super, super good. That's going to put us up, by a Pokemon for pretty, half of Politoed's health, but he's really only here to kill Charizard. So that's, that's perfectly okay with me. So, he's going to bring in his Hydreigon. I'm going to stay in. I figured he might go for the U-turn, and I could potentially get a nice Scald Burn on something. But he makes the correct play, goes into Shaman, which has Natural Cure. It actually takes quite a bit from that Scald. I was surprised. But now we're just going to go ahead and switch into Jirachi to take this Seed Flare. It gets the Spadef drop, which is fine. I think it has like a 60% chance to do that, so not going to complain about it. I'm just going to U-turn on out. I figured I could get super effective damage on the Shaman if it stayed in, and, you know, worst case scenario, he switches, and I just get a free switch. So he brings in Cobalion, I bring in Blaziken because that's a really, really good switching opportunity. And I'm just going to go Flare Blitz, which actually, in retrospect, maybe not the best idea, but you know what? It was a nice shot to take. Anyway, we take off most of this Togekiss's health with that Flare Blitz, and he's forced to switch. So he goes into Hydreigon. I've got Jirachi in. I'm just going to go U-turn. I'm faster because I am Scarfed. Now, I don't necessarily mind revealing that, because, you know, that's okay. Anyway, he goes Dark Pulse, and it does, like, 50% to Rotom. But again, Rotom is perfectly okay going down here. We've got options for stuff, so I'm just going to go ahead and let it do that. Anyway, we're going to go into Venusaur and get our Mega up, and I'm actually going to go ahead and go for the HP Fire, predicting the Cobalion to switch in here. It does almost 50%, which is pretty good for, you know, Mega Venusaur's defensive, or this one is anyway, so that's pretty good. So he's going to go ahead and set up his rocks. I don't really have any way to get rid of them. And I also don't have rocks on his side of the field. But that's okay. We aren't, like, you know, going to be absolutely destroyed by it. Anyway, he goes ahead and Volt Switches out. Now, I should have predicted that, and to be completely honest, and just gone for the Sludge Bomb. But whatever. He goes into Hydreigon. Now, I figured Hydreigon, if it went for Draco, I could survive that because I do have some special defense investment. And, of course, max HP. But anyways, I'm just going to go for the Synthesis there. The idea was if he went Draco, it would lower special attack, and I would just be able to wall him. But anyways, now he brings in Togekiss. I go for the Sludge Bomb, get the Poison, which is super nice, and yeah, just kind of ruin his poor Togekiss. So, here I just go into Politoed. He goes Dazzling Gleam. I survive at 1%, which is amazing, and just go ahead and kill him with the Sclad. So that's 2 kills for Politoed. Now he goes into Donphan. I don't really need Politoed for anything. I can't get rid of these rocks, so whatever. We're just going to leave him in there. And Donphan is, he shows me the, Ice Shard, which is fine. Now here, Earthquake actually does a fair bit. I was surprised. But, of course, I'm just going to be able to Giga Drain at him. Now, again, could have predicted the Hydreigon switch in. It was kind of obvious, but I don't. Anyways, now he's got Hydreigon in here. I don't really want to take a Draco at the level of HP I'm at. And, yeah, he misses, as I bring in Blaziken just to Death Fodder it. Now, he switches here. I would have just kept attacking. I was actually entirely prepared to just let Blaziken die. So I just go for Agility, and he's like, oh, well, that's not good for me. So I just go Flare Blitz here and kill off his Cobalion. Now, unfortunately, I am Life Orb, so I'm not going to be able to kill too much. Here, I make a huge misplay. Again, survive with 1 HP, or, you know, like 1% HP. I go for the High Jump Kick. Flare Blitz would have been the same. I forgot that I had Life. I actually forgot that I had Life Orb. But anyways, yeah, so I just died to High Jump Kick this. But yeah, anyways, so I go into Slurpuff and try to set up a Belly Drum, which I thought would have been really cool. But, again, I think he has HP investment, or I mean, not HP, attack investment, so he just kills me. Whatever. Anyway, we just go into Venusaur, and Venusaur doesn't really care what Hydreigon does, so it just goes Dark Pulse, and I think he thought I would switch or something, but I just stay in and Synthesis up, because Dark Pulse isn't going to do a lot, and luckily for me, he doesn't get any flinches, so now I can just kill him with the Giga Drain, which is super cool. So, I'm at a decent amount of health, so Shaman comes in. I'm just going to go for the, do I just Synthesis? I think I do. I just wanted to see what he would do. I didn't think he had anything to hit me with, but he does show me the Psychic. Unfortunately for him, he's pretty much forced to go for Psychic again, just because, like, otherwise he won't kill. And that gives Jirachi a good chance to switch in on a quad-resisted attack. Now I can just go Iron Head and knock him out. Now at this point, it's pretty much over, but I do actually get my first Jirachi flinch of the season, which is really cool. So yeah, I ended up 2-0ing him, as opposed to 1-0 if I had had to bring Venusaur in. So yeah, anyways, there was a little bit of hacks there, but it really didn't do too much, I don't think. So yeah, it was a pretty good battle, I think. So we got a nice win there against BXL. Always a really tough competitor with his hyper offense, but we did manage to, you know, play around him pretty well. I think just getting that early lead really helped us. So let's go ahead and look forward towards the next week, and we'll check out our next opponent. It's Gargleflop, the man with the plan. Oh my gosh, this guy. He's really good. Anyways, Gargleflop, actually, let me tell you this. Gargleflop was one of the two people who made me want to do YouTube videos in the first place. So if you like any of my videos, thank him, I guess. The dude's fantastic. He's been around for like forever, and he's always been one of my favorite YouTubers. Actually, my 50 subscriber special, years and years ago, well, like, what, at least 2 years ago, probably 3, was against him, and it was really fun. I also had a couple of other battles against him. I think I'm like 1-1 against him, maybe 1-2, something like that. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out what we've got on the agenda for it. So he's got Mega Sceptile, which really good. Just kind of like Grass Dragon, has access to Lightning Rod, which could be an issue. Crobat. Crobat is very, very fast and can bypass substitutes and stuff. Garchomp. Garchomp, he usually runs physically defensive, but it can be anything, you know, like physically defensive, offensive, whatever. Or a mix of the two. Magnezone, great for trapping steel types, or just using Analytic to just destroy things. Tentacruel, good rapid spinner, very specially defensive. Ambipom, oh gosh, yeah, Ambipom. Fake Out, double hit, Technician, really powerful. Darmanitan, probably the biggest threat on his team. That thing destroys everything. I used to love using Darmanitan. I actually probably would have picked it up if I had thought to. Let's see. Aromatisse, physically defensive fairy type. Zapdos, one of his favorite guys to use. He runs usually defensive, but I think the last game he ran offensive with like Scarf or something. And then Bastiodon and Infernape. Bastiodon, his mascot, and he uses it pretty effectively. It forms a really good, like it has good synergy with Zapdos. Can usually set up rocks. Metal Burst is an option. Basically, it's really good. Well, it's good when he uses it. It's horrible when anybody else uses it. And Infernape, which actually has the same typing as my Blaziken, but it's faster. Not quite as powerful, but at the same time, it can really, really wreck you. So that's what we've got. It's going to be really, really tough. This guy has been pretty much annihilating everybody for the last 3 weeks, and even then, like, he's always a threat to win any game he's in. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to beat him. He did beat the Denver Dashers in their game, but we're going to try. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, and you like, you know, keeping up with the P.I.C.A stuff, check out the P.I.C.A channel. I'm actually doing, I know I said this last week, but I am doing the weekly recap over on the P.I.C.A channel. So, you know, if you want to hear my thoughts on the rest of the league, obviously that's where you're going to see them. And check out the spreadsheet if you, maybe you don't want to, like, listen to half an hour of me talking, you know, just about, like, the rest of the league. You could just check out everything on your own time. It's, you know, super well put together. Matt puts so much effort into it, and it really shows. It's really good. Anyways, yeah, that's really all I got to say. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later, guys. Bye.